I think the floor is open for questions. There are mics in between. Someone asked to questions, please come.
I'm sorry, I don't know whether you're a cardiologist or not, but the advantage of ARB over ACE is the nephrologists prefer ARB because hyperuricemia. That hyperuricemia. And cardiologists because lesser side effects. And ACE is preferred in type 1 diabetics. This is what the evidence. So whether it is molecular evidence or clinical parameter, it is. So you're a cardiologist or
I'm a cardiologist.
Very good. Yes, yes.
So the question answer is that, you see, as I said, that if a patient is young person who has come to you with hypertension, he has to take the drug for a long period of time.
Yes, forever. Yeah.
And for that reason, I think we have to choose a drug where we have an evidence which patient compliance will be good, side effects will be as even better than placebo. If this we documented in
Always.
ARBs. At the same time, there is all the cardiovascular continuum have shown, starting from hypertension to heart failure, that there is reduction in cardiovascular events even with ARB. And probably it's more effective, better tolerated. So my suggestion will be that in such patient, I will like to use ARB because this is what is our experience is. It also significantly reduces proteinuria, as you said about that. And the problem is, the ACE inhibitors is a side effect of cough, which is the basic reason. So we do not use for uncomplicated, but for complicated, there is a strong evidence that we have to use ACE inhibitor.
So that means hyperuricemia is not at all a risk.
We are not bothered about hyperuricemia.
And in diabetic, in diabetic food, the biofilm, it's a menace. That's what everybody thinks. How often you encounter biofilm? What is your, how do you, of course, we know that more than you, they expect is a plastic surgeon which you employ. Maybe next time you could bring us, let's see, from your own medical aspect, biofilm.
The best way of removing the biofilm is a surgical debridement of the plastic surgeon whom you referred to. So I think the surgeon, plastic surgeon, they have to keep on removing the slough, because the slough is the dead bacteria. They produce a lot of biofilm. So the best way of removing the biofilm is by repeated daily surgical debridement.
That is, but there are reports about negative pressure and ultrasonic devices, because this CND every day people do. In addition to, because diabetic foot syndrome is, the stay is prolonged in the hospital and it's a very expensive complication. So in addition to this clean drain dressing, would you like to, have you come across articles or do you employ or your surgeon has to?
Certain hydrocolloid dressings remove the biofilm more effectively than the saline dressing. So it might be useful to use these modern hydrocolloid dressings. They remove the biofilm more effectively than just saline gauze. So in addition to this one, hydrocolloid dressing.
Why metoprolol is removed from the list? Is there any role for metoprolol at all? The hypertension, diabetes?
For the management, yeah. That's
Management.
Right. For the management of hypertension, I said for complicated hypertension, beta blockers are #1 choice. No doubt. I was discussing about non-complicated, uncomplicated hypertension who has got no vascular disease. Like for a patient who has got CAD, heart failure, those situations, beta blocker is drug of choice along with ARBs or ACE inhibitor, whichever drugs, or diuretic if needed for heart failure patient. But for uncomplicated hypertension, what we have found, even the NICE guideline has shown, and the various clinical studies have shown with the meta-analysis which came in Lancet, that atenolol and other group of beta blockers, they were producing no protection in myocardial infarction and stroke. Now, metoprolol has been studied mainly in heart failure patients with hypertension, found to be very useful, as good as carvedilol, nebivolol, group of, or even bisoprolol. Metoprolol as a first line for the management of hypertension is not been recommended now, because we found the protection, cardiovascular protection for an uncomplicated hypertension is not there. Rather, it produces a lot of problem, all the beta blockers particularly, except the newer beta blockers like nebivolol or bisoprolol, which has not been studied in, unfortunately, in most of the clinical trial in terms of cardiovascular events reduction. But metoprolol and atenolol, which has been studied in some of this trial, mainly our studies have been done with atenolol. But with metoprolol, we found that any beta blockers particularly, except the newer, which we really don't know, the older beta blockers, they cause weight gain, they increase the central obesity, they cause dysglycemia, they cause dyslipidemia, and they pushes the patient to more metabolic syndrome. And our population is already higher incidence of metabolic syndrome in our society. So if you use this group of drug, we are going to push a lot of patients from impaired glucose tolerance to a clinical diabetic status. And ultimately, all the benefit of the antihypertensive effect of beta blocker is taken care of. Whereas nebivolol, bisoprolol, carvedilol, 3 group of drugs which we are not been studied so far much in the management of hypertension, only efficacy has been studied and found to be very useful. But whether they are reducing cardiovascular even in uncomplicated hypertension, we do not have any data at the moment to support. That's why the guidelines, all the guidelines, JNC 8, European Society and NICE, all have pushed beta blocker to 4th stage as an antihypertensive drug in the initial management of hypertension. Even in younger population, the people, those who are young with the hypertension population, there also they suggested those who have sympathetic overdrive. Many times patient come to you with sympathetic overdrive. They have got accelerated systolic hypertension. A young boy of 25 to 30 years comes with 160 or 150 blood pressure. Diastolic is around 85, 90. There you did not give any drug. All the studies which has been done based on the 1.2 billion Swedish trial which was published only and which is now documented in European Society guideline also suggest that younger population like 30 or 35 years with isolated systolic hypertension, tachycardia, please do not use beta blocker, do not use ivabradine group of drug. They are the people, those who have been tracked for 10 years and found they never get clinical hypertension. Whereas a younger hypertensive patient with diastolic hypertension, more than 90 or 100, should be treated. Diastolic blood pressure is more important than systolic blood pressure in younger population, whereas the other way around is true in elderly population or at more than 55 years of age. So beta blockers' role for the management of hypertension has gone down really.
Regarding hydrochlorothiazide.
I think both the topics are very high volume topic. We may have many questions, but unfortunately from the...
Yeah, only one question, sir.
Yeah, we will just stop with the last question.
Dr.
Thank you.
Vijay, what is your experience with maggot therapy? Because it is a very popular therapy in UK and in abroad. Have you ever tried this therapy in your...
Unfortunately, maggot therapy is not available in India.
No, that's what I'm asking.
It's not
I know it is
available
not available, but what is your feedback on that therapy, sir? You must have heard much about it.
Because it's not available in India, number one. Number two is the same point which I said before. Nothing is equal to a surgeon's knife. He has to debride every day and remove all the slough. So I think the Indian acceptance will be much better for a surgeon's knife than for worms inside the wound.
So one last question, what is your experience regarding the total contact cast? Because we use more in CMC Vellore and when I come outside, no one seems to use that one.
Yeah, only thing in infected wounds you can't use it. So you can use it in chronic Charcot foot or an acute Charcot foot. But it can't be used in infected wounds because you can't see the wound. You can't dress the wounds every day. So today we have a thing called diabetic walker from a company called Autobock, which is about 4,000. It's a removable walker, just like your total contact cast, but you can remove it every day and put it on after your dressing. So that's better than a total contact cast.
Right. With that, probably we'll just end this. Just last one question to Vijay. About hyperbaric oxygen. So probably do you think that we need to study a bit before putting any recommendations on it for selecting what kind of patients may be helped?
No, as I said, it is not a replacement for, it's just an adjunct treatment. It's just an adjunct to revascularization, and it's only valid if your TCPO2, transcutaneous partial pressure of oxygen, is more than 30. Otherwise, you should not use hyperbaric as a substitute for revascularization.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.